Tonight at 9, Indy Screen Park just underwent lots of renovations. See how the experience has changed.
A historic lumber yard has been transformed into a new venue. Find out what event the community came together for.
And one Muncie man is going the distance. Learn about what keeps him moving.
And I'll be tracking continued dry conditions. NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Abby Urban.
And I'm Josh Gabbard.
As spooky season approaches, Indy Screen Park has returned for another year with new improvements.
NewsLink Indiana's Amelia Winter went down to the park to see the new upgrades.
The most wonderful time of the year, and there's something for everyone to do here at the Indy Screen Park. Now with their new improvements, I talked to staff to learn more about how this can enhance your experience. Indy Screen Park has reopened for their 16th year, and this season is looking a little different.
A new attraction, Neon Nightmare. It's our interpretation of a 3D crazy rave.
Attraction specialist Jordan Harmson says their main focus was the guests.
Upgrading the customer experience with some upgrades such as this photo spot behind us and just the customer experience.
The park spent over $300,000 for renovations. Chief Marketing Officer John Pianki says the upgrades have enhanced safety, security features, and more photo opportunities around the park.
I like seeing a lot more happy customers and things like that. So it's like I don't get complaints about our restrooms because we don't use porta potties anymore. We have flush restrooms now. So like that was a big one. People really wanted flush restrooms, get away from the porta potty.
From 5 different haunted houses to zombie paintball, there is something for everyone to do, and always wanting guests to have a hauntingly good time.
Instead of having to just go through all the haunted houses, we want it to be a full experience where it's not just you go there and leave. You can go and enjoy the midway, the food, the drinks, the actors in which you get to interact with a little bit more, and then also the different haunted houses that if you aren't a fan of one, you can always go through any of the others and pick to go through at your own pace. Indy Screen Park is open from now until the beginning of November. In Anderson, Amelia Winter, NewsLink, Indiana.
You need a spook key to enter these haunted houses. To get your tickets to the park, go to indyscreenpark.com.
As fall moves in, it brings with it Oktoberfest. And this past weekend, Muncie held their 4th celebration. NewsLink Indiana's Aiden Murray went to the event to learn a little more about the history of the festival.
Fall is officially here, and in Muncie, the people are celebrating with Oktoberfest, a way to celebrate the end of September and welcoming in October, celebrating with good food, drinks, unique arts and crafts, and lots of unique events, celebrating in a big way. But I'm here today not only to discover the history behind Oktoberfest, but find out what makes some of its culture so important.
Traditionally, it is in Germany. I believe it's like the second weekend in September and then ends on the first weekend in October. So it's a big celebration over there. That's a lot of weeks. So that's why we kind of have it when we do, because we wanted to fall in the time period of the traditional Oktoberfest.
While the Muncie Oktoberfest may not have all the traditional German culture one would expect, it mixes in some from the community, giving attendees a taste of their own culture by taking an old lumber yard with over 130 years of history and turning it into a beer garden, providing the perfect place to bring people together.
We're looking at an event to throw in Muncie. We wanted something that brings people from all different backgrounds together, brings them here to our campus, learn a little bit more about what we do, and what brings people together more than beer.
Eco Rehab helped put together most of the new facilities for the event. By cleaning up a forgotten part of Muncie, they gave people a place to look forward to going to. It's not just the attendees who look forward to going to Oktoberfest. Plenty of vendors look forward to getting involved during the celebration. Most vendors are locals themselves, bringing their craft to share with the community.
The Stein actually means stone in German. So these are made of high-fired stoneware, and they're very durable.
Honoring the core values of Oktoberfest with its strong community values, Muncie puts a twist on their celebration, while sharing a beer or two and enjoying some delicious bratwurst. Oktoberfest may be full of fun, food, and good drinks, but the people here learn a lot more about the history and culture of Oktoberfest. So, raise a glass to German culture and fun. In Muncie, Aiden Murray, NewsLink Indiana.
The planning committee for Munich to Muncie hope to continue having the event annually and aim for next year's to be at the end of September.
Josh, I can't do the heat anymore.
I'm getting real sick of the 90-degree days. I thought we
can't.
were done with this. It's September. It's almost October.
I really need rain. Noah, are we going to get any?
Oh, guys, I have really bad news for you. Hate to push your bubble. It really doesn't feel like fall, and I hate to tell you, it's going to really not still feel like fall throughout this week, but maybe you'll get a little bit of that fall feel tonight here if we look at current temperatures. 65 in Muncie, 76 in Indianapolis, 77 in Lafayette, so still warm, but maybe feels a little bit more like that fall you've been asking for, Abby. What we're tracking tonight, that continued warmth, unfortunately, not a lot of rain chances, and we'll even take an eye at the tropics, see if we have any hurricane systems in the Atlantic. I'll have all that and more coming up in my full forecast.
Thank you so much, Noah. And I'm glad it's kind of getting cooler in those evenings because love can keep you moving, but for how far?
NewsLink Indiana's Daniel Huber meets one man fueled by the love of his family and faith to keep on running.
Not a lot goes on at 5:30 in the morning in Muncie. Along dimly lit signs, you will see a few commuters and people pulling up at a gas station. But what you might also see is a man in a glowing vest.
I will admit, some parts of running Muncie is like a trail run.
Meet Justin Sorensen, a man on one simple quest, to run all the streets of Muncie. What might running an entire city entail? Well, you might find yourself going through awkward situations, like running through a gated community.
Just turn around right here. Yeah, you can turn around. Thanks.
There are dead ends.
Turn around, you turn.
Twists and turns.
Turn right here.
And oncoming traffic. But those are to be expected. Not a lot of things can stop Sorensen from running. Except for, well...
I gotta stop and check my map.
But why does he run so early in the morning?
That's all I got time for.
While on his quest to cover Muncie, he sells coverage of a different kind, insurance coverage. He runs the Allstate branch in the city. The wall of his office immediately tells you what he values in life, his love for his family.
I want to be able to provide for my family, and I want to be able to serve God. And so anything that I'm able to do that helps me be able to accomplish those two tasks, I'm going to lean that way.
Family is the reason he got into running. His second daughter joined cross country in the 7th grade. So when his daughter and her friends signed up for a 4-mile run for a 4th of July event, he signed up too.
I have no idea what my time was or anything like that, but it was embarrassing enough to me that I wanted to do better.
The photos on the wall are now a time capsule. 4 of his children are adults now, and their once 1-year-old son is now 13. But one message still rings true. We heart you. The Sorensen family goes to church on Sunday, and his wife, Angela Sorensen, says the family continues to support one another.
I think it's great. I mean, it brings him a lot of joy and happiness to run and push himself and try and do hard things. And so why would I not want him to become a better person? And so that's why I support him the way I do, because it's helping him challenge himself in a good way.
It's not only church that helps Sorensen feel closer to God. He says he often finds himself praying while running.
I won't say all the time, but anytime something's on my mind, this is the place to clear it and talk with him.
When he's done with the run, he logs his miles and goes on with the rest of his day. 802 streets down, 45 more to go. In Muncie, Daniel Huber, NewsLink, Indiana.
After months of work, Sorensen finished his goal on Saturday. He said it was, quote, a very satisfying check mark of a goal set and accomplished, end quote. Up next, find out the latest about a possible peace deal for Gaza.
And one state is taking emergency measures against the deployment of federal troops. Stay with us.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Julie was always a voracious reader, she'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Welcome back. President Donald Trump met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House today, and following their sit-down meeting, Trump said they were, quote, beyond very close, end quote, to a peace deal in Gaza.
This comes as Israel has grown increasingly isolated on the world stage due to backlash over the war.
Ahead of this visit, the Trump administration voiced optimism about resolving the conflict. Just a few days ago, President Donald Trump said they were, quote, very close, end quote, to a deal, and just days before that, his envoy said a breakthrough was possible. Trump welcomed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House today to discuss a potential Gaza peace plan. The two held a bilateral meeting followed by a joint press conference. The Trump administration is pushing a 20-point Gaza peace plan that calls for all hostages held by Hamas to be released within 72 hours of an agreement and set out a roadmap for Gaza once the war ends.
Hamas rejects the deal, which is always possible. They're the only one left. Everyone else has accepted it. But I have a feeling that we're going to have a positive answer.
The plan does not indicate that the U.S. would support the creation of a Palestinian state, but recognizes it as an aspiration of the Palestinians.
Oregon is fighting back against President Donald Trump's decision to send federal troops to Portland. Today, attorneys for the state filed an emergency motion seeking to block the deployment of federal troops. The filing accuses the Trump administration of trying to militarize Portland and other so-called sanctuary cities. The move follows yesterday's memo from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, announcing plans to place 200 Oregon National Guard troops into federal service for 60 days. In response, the state and the city of Portland have filed a lawsuit arguing the federalization of state troops is unconstitutional and could trigger more unrest.
Will we see any rainfall from Hurricane Imelda? Find out after the break.
After his wife passed, my neighbor Larry started drinking a lot. He was in distress and acting out. He had guns around, and I didn't want anything bad to happen. I pressed pause. Our local authorities filed a firearm restraining order to temporarily remove the guns. It gave Larry the time he needed to get help. It wasn't easy, but we got through it together. Learn more at illinois.gov/pause to heal.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And welcome back. We hit a high of 91 degrees today, which is really warm, especially for late fall here. But finally, as we get into the overnight hours here, we see temperatures starting to calm down just a little bit. 65 in Farmland, 74 in Portland, 68 in Hartford City, just a few of those local hometown temperatures. Tonight, as we get into the midnight hours, low of 54 with mostly clear skies with those north-northeast winds at about 5 miles an hour, cooling us down just a little bit on this Monday evening. Tomorrow, going to be kind of a rinse and repeat pattern, the same thing we saw today, just a few degrees cooler though than what we saw today. 55 at that 8 a.m. bus stop, 76 by the time you're headed out at lunchtime, and 83 by 5 p.m. Notice this, though, really not a lot of clouds in the sky at all, and that's going to be kind of a pattern for this week. But what's going to keep us a little cooler here is these northeast winds at about 5 or 10 miles an hour to cool us down just a few degrees from what we saw today. Now, like I mentioned here, calm and dry weather across most of Indiana and most of the Midwest, I should say, but that's a different story if we look out across the southeast Atlantic. We have not one but two tropical systems moving across the southeast Atlantic. Hurricane Humberto, currently a Category 4 storm moving out to sea. Imelda, currently a Category 1 hurricane, looks like it was going to be impacting the Carolinas, but now actually has looked to more be slingshotting off the path of Humberto and out to sea here. So neither one of these storms are going to impact the United States. While we did think maybe over the weekend that Imelda would, looks like they're both going to be non-impacts here for the lower 48 and the United States. Meanwhile, this pattern of dryness, this high pressure that we've been seeing over the past week is going to stay just in place here. If we look at this upper air map, you see this high pressure, meaning that warm, dry air is really just going to be parked over the eastern United States and really is not going to move no matter what tries to budge out of the way here throughout the week. Even to Friday, we're still seeing warm and dry weather here, which is really going to exacerbate a lot of the same weather we've been seeing throughout the region, where it's going to remain dry and quite warm. And speaking of warm, we're almost a month into meteorological fall, and we have 19 days above average, 1 day at the normal temperature, and 8 days below average. So if you think it's been a warm fall, you're correct. It has been an incredibly warm fall, not to mention a very dry September so far. Only 0.48 inches of rain at Muncie, Delaware County Airport through September 28th. More than likely going to be the fourth driest September on record for the city of Muncie. We typically see about 3 inches of rain here during September. So this harvest season going to be very, very dry. And the drought monitor is showing that with this severe drought all the way down that I-69 corridor from Fort Wayne down into Muncie. Going to continue to be like that. Even looking here, even places that aren't in that severe drought, still seeing that moderate drought. Anderson down towards Richmond along I-70. Now, kind of like I mentioned earlier, it feels like a broken record up here, but it's going to be sunny, it's going to be dry, and it's going to be warm. 83 on Tuesday, 80 on Wednesday, 79 on Thursday, 82 on Friday. A little bit of clouds move in. 83 on Saturday, 82 on Sunday, 84 on Monday. And just look at all that sunshine in that forecast, guys. I know we had a couple rainy days last week, but it really does not feel like fall. It feels like we should be in early August, like school just started.
I really don't like the heat. I need rain.
Yeah, my allergies have been brutal. I think I sneezed for 3 minutes straight, so a little bit of rain and a nice cool down would really change the course of the semester.
And it was so foggy last week. It was so foggy
and
rainy.
So fall-like.
It felt so nice, and then it's like it never happened. Bad
I just
dream.
keep thinking back to that first week of August where I was in hoodies and blue jeans and felt wonderful, and now I'm sweating in shorts.
Spooky weather. I need it.
I just want to wear a hoodie for once.
Real.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Noah. There's lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Stephen Grotta has a preview of your sports.
Thanks, Abby and Josh. The Super Bowl halftime performer has officially been announced, and we take a look back at the Ryder Cup. All this and more next in sports.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing we do to keep us focused.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game?
To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health.
Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need to keep your mental health a priority.
Love your mind.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We can't play about our future or our finances. Make moves, set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up, stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things. This is pre-tirement.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Stephen Grotto with sports. With Super Bowl just under 6 months away, we now know what artists will perform at halftime. Three-time Grammy Award-winning artist Bad Bunny will headline the Super Bowl 60 halftime show. The NFL and Apple Music made the announcement on Sunday evening. Bad Bunny released his 6th solo album last January. The Super Bowl will take place February 9th at Levi Stadium, the home of the San Francisco 49ers. Pitching things over to the Diamond, the MLB season had a dramatic ending this weekend, setting the stage for an eventful October. The Cleveland Guardians came out on top after their incredible late-season run, surpassing the Detroit Tigers for the AL Central crown. In similar fashion, the Toronto Blue Jays seized the AL East title from the New York Yankees after winning 5 of their last 7 games. Along with that, the Cincinnati Reds clinched their first playoff berth since 2020, defeating the New York Mets in the wild-card race. The postseason kicks off tomorrow as the Tigers take on the Guardians for the first wild-card matchup at 1:08 p.m. Staying with the postseason theme, the Indiana Fever kept their championship hopes alive on Saturday. After dropping games 2 and 3 to the Las Vegas Aces, the Fever found themselves one loss from elimination in the WNBA semifinals. But bolstered by a crowd of over 16,000, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Odyssey Sims combined for 67 points to force a Game 5. Boston also added 14 rebounds and 5 assists, but gave all the credit to the team and the staff for the momentum.
We lost people to injuries, and no one stepped down. No one dropped their heads. But I think Steph and the entire staff just did a great job of us telling us about who's in here, and we're going to do everything we can to be successful, and we just kept working.
The series will now head back to Vegas for their winner-take-all Game 5 on Thursday night. Tip-off is set for 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Keeping things on the court, Ball State women's volleyball has claimed 2 MAC awards. Sophomore Carson Tyler was awarded MAC Offensive Player of the Week, while her teammates Lindsey Green and Reese Axness both claimed MAC Setter of the Week. Tyler was crowned Offensive Player of the Week after she notched 35 kills in 2 games. The sophomore had also 2 aces and 12 digs over the weekend. The duo of Green and Axness also aided the Cardinals in leading the MAC in attack percentage with a .306. Taking things up to Long Island, the USA tasted defeat in the Ryder Cup as Europe retained the trophy. Entering the final day of competition, Europe had a commanding 7-point lead. After 2 days of intense matches, exhaustion began to show. But the USA opened Sunday storming back and cut Europe's lead. For a fleeting moment, it seemed as though the US could pull off the improbable. But after Ireland's Shane Lowry sank his putt on the 18th hole, Europe clinched their 2nd straight Ryder Cup. It's really disappointing that the USA did not get to pull out the Ryder Cup victory. I was watching on the edge of my seat the whole weekend.
We were close.
I honestly would have rather been blown out. It being that close made it all the much harder to watch.
I completely agree.
Cam Young, though, an incredible rookie debut. Just wish he could have helped Russell Henley with that putt on 18.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we got another 2 years, and then we can come back and win it. I know I think we can do it.
We came very close. We have the heart. We have the determination. It's just we need to start hotter next Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Here's the problem, though. Shane Lowry from Ireland sank that putt on 18. We're going to Ireland in 2 years, so it's just an uphill battle and always will be. That's the Ryder Cup.
Europe can do it here. We can do it there.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Stephen. Coming up, Diana Perez has your campus coverage.
We have one final look at your weather next.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me in ways that I never knew that I could be broken. And I contemplated suicide. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe. Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over. Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together.
It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. My name is Diana Perez, and this is your campus coverage. Over the weekend, the Ball State Theater and Dance Department brought one of the most famous tragedies of all time to campus, Romeo and Juliet. But it's not all that the play had to offer. The show also brought a more accessible experience for anyone in the audience. The Theater and Dance Department's Romeo and Juliet spanned over 3 days, from Friday until Sunday at the Brown Family Amphitheater. It included their own twists on the show, such as having Juliet sing when she meets Romeo and opting for modern clothing and set pieces.
I am very proud of the way that we've put on this production because it has been modernized in a way to make it resonate with an audience in a present day setting. I think that the way that we're able to alter the language and the text to, first of all, shorten it to make it a bit more digestible of a length for a modern day audience, as well as taking out some of the references that maybe people wouldn't get, and just making sure the language really rings true in a way that is important with Shakespeare.
The show didn't just focus on the performance, but as well as making theater accessible for everyone. The production was able to overcome some of the obstacles that come with live theater, with the show being staged outside and having free admission.
I think Shakespeare is for everyone, and a lot of people, are turned off to theater because of ticket prices, which is totally understandable, and I think that everyone should have access to the arts.
Anyone from family, friends to people passing by were able to see Romeo and Juliet. By retelling a story that's been retold for centuries in a unique venue, the Theater and Dance Department helped ensure that a more wider and diverse audience could enjoy their production. In Muncie, Diana Perez, NewsLink, Indiana. To hear about any upcoming events by the Theater and Dance Department, you can visit their Instagram at Ball State Theater and Dance.
It was a beautiful show. It was incredible.
It was. Oh my gosh. Whew. That Juliet. Oh my gosh.
Incredible.
I personally did not go. I was still watching the Ryder Cup, I'm sorry. But every time I see Romeo and Juliet, I just think of the Leonardo DiCaprio version of it. And I hope they did a better job than that movie was.
It was really good. Thank you so much, Diana. Now we're going to get a final look at your weather with Noah.
And lots of sunshine. If you're a fan of sunshine, you will love it over the next 7 days here in Muncie. 83 on Tuesday, 80 on Wednesday, a couple clouds move in, 79 on Thursday, 82 on Friday, and then up into the mid-80s over the weekend. Unfortunately, guys, still is one of those, pack an outfit for the morning, pack an outfit for the afternoon type of weeks.
Yeah, I've been wearing shorts at 59 degrees this morning. I'm like, I gotta get cold.
I need those pants that have the zippers at the knees. I really need those this week.
For sure. Well, thank you so much, Noah. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page, YouTube channel, and WCRD 91.3.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to BallStateCardinalMediaBSU.com. Have a great night and stay safe.